Hey guys, Tony here. So, kind of concerning. Somebody actually brought the spy to me, brought up the spy to me, and I didn't actually see this before until right now, which is actually kind of concerning. Um, we are about to create. I mean, if this month, what is it? If June, I won't be coming back to spy, unless we close June bearish. If June ends up closing bearish for the month of June, 100%, I think we're gonna be looking at a big crash. And when I say a crash, I mean minimum, something like, how we crashed in the past. Something like what, highs of 279, lows of 254. So not two, so $20, not big of a crash. 294 down to 234. So what? That's like a 60 point move down. This is from highs of, this was back what, last year when we had that COVID crash, 340 down to 28. So a little bit more than 100. I do think that if this month ends up closing bearish, 100% I'm gonna be buying puts. Even right now, I think that if we do not have a move up, a clear move up in the next coming weeks, we are definitely gonna be going down. There's actually a gap. Where was that gap? There's a big gap around. Yeah, there's a big gap from 400 up until 400 and like $3. I think there's a very, very, very strong chance we're gonna be closing this gap within the next month or two. If we close June on the month, right? If we close bearish for the month of June. We have this gap to fill between 401 and 403, which is only about a percentage, only 1% of the SPY price. But I do think that if June closes in bearish, 100%, I'll be buying puts. I'll be buying everything from 403, 402, and 401, and maybe like even 399 puts, like 2-3 months out. 100%, I'll be buying puts. And I'm happy that you guys brought this up to me, because this is actually crazy. We've only actually closed bearish in a couple of other occasions on the month chart. We actually did a bearish month back in February 2020, which was the COVID thing. Again on October 1st of 2018, which was that small correction, and then again back in March 1st of 2018. Let me see other occasions that we've crossed bear. So here, August 2017, we actually didn't do anything for August. Also for October 3rd, 2016, we didn't do anything. For January 4th or January 2016, we went highs of 200 down to lows of, so around, I'd say average, we have kind of a gap down of like $20. And right now we're sitting at 421. So I do think if this month closes bearish on June and we're still sitting above this 417, 420 level, we're still kind of here. I would 100% think that we're going to go all the way back down to at least 400, or we're going to at least touch this 397, the 397 level on the SPY that was kind of crossed over back on what? April 1st of this year. Yeah, I mean, again, I am not going to look at the SPY until the end of June, or until we actually close this month bearish, which is not going to be for another 20 days and 18 hours. So I'm not going to be looking at the SPY again for another 20 days, 18 hours. But if we actually close this month on a bearish mark, 100%, if we're anything above this gap of 403 to 401, even if we're above 397 or 399, wherever this support is right here, 100% I'll be buying puts about a month or two out, because I definitely think it's gonna play out like that, but only if we actually close bearish for the month of June. So again, I think this is a pretty big catalyst. Again, we've only had a couple. The average drop is about 20 points for the S&P 500 when we hit that bearish catalyst. But there have been points where we do close bigly, right? We do go down pretty big. Back in October 1st, 2018, we went from 293 down to 233, which is about a 50-point drop. And the biggest drop, obviously, that we've seen is the COVID drop from February 2020 down to those lows of like 220-ish or whatever. Was it two lows of two? like 218, like 100-point drop. But again, we never actually know how big the drop is gonna be. But I do think that minimum, if we do close bearish for June, we are gonna go back down and retest that 387, or at least fill that gap between 401 and like 403, 100%. I definitely do think SPY has a really good chance at going all the way back down here if June closes bearish. So it's a little bit concerning, but again, I won't be looking at the SPY from here up until the end of June. If on June 30th, there is a clear indication of us creating a bear signal on the reverse MACD, that same day I'm buying $400 puts, 399 puts, 388, 387, whatever, right? 397 for SPY about a month or two out, 100%. Because it seems like the lowest point after it gets created, it seems like the second month. So I would say that I would buy at least minimum a month or two out puts for the SPY, because more than likely they might actually hit, and the average gap down is about $20. So I'd say whatever the price is at the end of June, around June 30th, I'd say the most common sense play would be look at the price of the SPY on June 30th, and if it's actually going to be closing bearish, which I'll let you guys know, subtract whatever that day amount closes by 20 points, and that should be the furthest amount put contract you should buy. Minimum, I'd say a month and a half to 2 months out. I'll see you guys later.